Hello everybody and welcome back to this Parallel SEO video. In today's video, we are going to be talking about blogs, or more specifically, I suppose, posts. All right. What are they? Why you should use them, and why they are easily the best source of SEO content you can have on your website. Okay. Now, usually when you're working on a website, you want to constantly have it active in some form or fashion. Now, you don't want to change the main drafts of the pages, but you do want to keep something available that people can constantly be engaging with your website for new and entertaining content. Okay. In this case, that's where posts come in, right? Now, posts are effectively rapid form content. Okay, these are blog posts, web pages that are specifically meant to inform me about something. These are newsreels, these are articles, these are little lists. All of these things fall under posts. What are they? Well, they're non-static. They're static, but they're dynamically added. Dynamically added content to a website. Okay, I know dynamically is not spelled correctly. I can't talk and spell at the same time. But dynamically added content, essentially meaning that they are uploaded after the website's creation and they're not focal points or pillar forms of content. Okay, pillar forms of content being stuff like your home page, your about us page, contact us page, informational pages. These are addendums to your website that assist it in some form of fashion. Now, blogs are usually not meant to be posted, or posts are not usually done constantly on a website, depending on its purpose, or it can be the main source of content for a website. For example, think of blog websites, news websites, gaming article websites, anything that is informative and is constantly being updated. Those are the kinds of websites you want to have these for. For pages that are marketing something, that are trying to sell something, you oftentimes want to focus on specifically the main pages you want to draw people to in order to get most of your attention to those pages. Okay, think of it like spreading a bit of dye in a glass of water, comparing it to splitting dye in a pool. You drop it in a glass of water, the dye is obviously going to contaminate everything. Okay, you split that across a pool, and then it goes everywhere. That's the kind of thing you want to do with attention, and the amount of effort you put into your SEO. Okay, so what kind of posts are there? Well, there are blogs. These are usually between 500 to 1,500 words pieces of content. These can range from less serious topics to more serious topics. It can be newsreels, all of that. In general, blogs are usually in this range of 500 to 1,000 words. Then you've got your articles, which are sort of like blogs, but these are oftentimes 1,500 plus because they're going into a lot more detail about something. There's a lot more informative engagement with this. Think of scientific articles, news articles, things of that nature. Then you've got listicles. Um, I listicles. All right, listicles are usually top 10 lists, um, top 5 lists. These kinds of lists where you're trying to list out something, where you want to sort of talk about something and list them in terms of what they are. In general, these are going to be your primary sources of blogs and posts on your website, outside of image gallery posts, which I suppose also technically fall under posts, but these are oftentimes going to go into a gallery page and are not usually oftentimes associated with posts onto your website. Okay. How should you be doing these? Well, it depends on really what your website is like. Blogs, like I said, are oftentimes more light-hearted and less serious. Articles, by their very nature, are oftentimes more researched, informed, taken more seriously. And then listicles are oftentimes aiming to be informative, right? So they're trying to be informative, they're trying to list out, they want to do pros, cons, comparisons, all of those things. Okay, so these are going to be your general forms of content. Now, deciding which ones you're going to do is going to be based entirely on what your website is all about. Is your website about sports? Then you're going to want to probably do more blogs, right? Sports, hobbyists, entertainment, news, oftentimes less serious news. Then your articles are going to be primarily on more highly informative pieces. So these are going to be serious news, and I say serious news, but serious news articles, scientific papers. They can also be longer form blog style content that go into more detail. And then finally, your listicles. These are going to be your comparisons, right? So these are your comparisons. These are going to be your versus debates. These are going to be your best and worst lists. These are going to be sort of like to give people a broad understanding over a topic. And then finally, we'll just ignore galleries because they're not really important. Okay, so depending on what your website is doing, you kind of want to aim into these ballparks. Obviously, blogs are going to be longer form. So they are going to be just, blogs are going to be more easily available and readily available to be written. Articles take a lot more time, a lot more research, and energy to write and compose. And then finally, listicles oftentimes are also like this, but they are really good in spreading out generally your backlinking profile if you want to start creating no follow links or follow links to various other websites. That can then perhaps follow you back or mention you and mention you in there. So it really depends on what it is you want to do. So whenever you're building your website, just remember blogs are shorter, they're easier to write, they're less informative, they're not taken as seriously. Articles tend to be more highly researched, informative, and taken more seriously in general, but they also take longer to write and oftentimes are longer. So these are going to be a lot more informed and a lot more in depth in your writing. And then finally, your listicles, your top 10s, your top 5s, comparisons versus debates, worst debates, slightly more informative than blogs, but not really going in depth like articles. Hope this is informative. Hope this is insightful. I will see you all tomorrow.